Hi everyone. So for today, for the leadership talk, I thought I'd focus on customer service. And one of the first principles of customer service is that you treat everybody the same. It doesn't matter if you're talking to a diplomat or you're talking to the cleaner. You treat everybody with the same respect, the same consideration. It doesn't matter if it's somebody in the prison. Everybody is treated with the same respect and talked to in the same way when they call you in, like the call center. We call it call center work. Or whether they come to you on email or chat. You can't discriminate based on that. And if you look at movies, you'll see how this principle is applied. If you watch the movie Last Holiday, that's a good example of how customer service should work and how to treat people if you're working in any service industry where you're dealing with people, because that's what makes the difference. And it's not to treat somebody better because they a diplomat or they the prime minister or they are in a prison. You don't do that to people. And it's actually even more important to treat those who are in a lesser position better compared to somebody who is in a more powerful position or is more wealthy or has more. And that is also based on biblical scripture being applied. So in the scriptures, we learn that you treat the parts of the body that are more vulnerable with extra care. So like your eyes, your ears, places that can be damaged more easily, you treat them with extra care. When you're washing your eyes, you're more gentle. You're not rough with your eyes, as opposed to maybe washing your hand, with the skin on your hand. You can be a little more rough. So if you can think about it that way, when you're working in customer service, people who are vulnerable, people who are out of work, people who are, not going to be able to make their payments, you're more gentle with them. And that's something that you apply on the job. So when you're working with collections, when you're working with payments, you be more gentle with people because people are already going through a hard time. They're not able to meet those payments. And even the pay in full method, that comes out of that concept, so that people can have a little more time to pay. You can make things a little bit more affordable or accessible for them. Unfortunately today, even with, like now my Ontario Works was denied, I put in a new application. I hope they put it through. Because it's not like I'm not applying for jobs, and it's not like recruiters are not calling me. They are calling me. They are presenting me. I am getting interviews. But a lot of the time, those jobs either get put on hold or they go with another candidate. So it's not like I won't get a job. I will eventually get a job. But this is the process you go through when you're job hunting. So it leaves you very vulnerable. It leaves you very much just hanging on by the edge. And of course, it's not good news that my Ontario Works application was denied. But the thing is, when I logged in it just shows me in process. They are saying they sent me a request for information, which I didn't see. So I asked them to call me or email me if they need anything else. And hopefully this one will go through. But anyway, I guess I have to wait and see. It's not like tomorrow could bring more hope. Tomorrow could bring some good news. So I don't give up. I don't give up on what I'm trying to accomplish. And also, America's the third world. Do you see how Africa landed up and all these places? Everything that starts in America. Everybody wants that lifestyle, right? So President Trump what he's saying is actually telling you about America. When they import all those values from America to Africa, to Asia, all over, and then they land up with that kind of poverty like they have. all this thing like shutting down the government and, then people don't get, they're waiting for their food stamp cards, they're waiting for things, they don't get it. It all starts in America. So he's right. He's right about what he's saying. He's telling you about America because everybody imports. America is the third world now. All the other countries are starting to come up, and Canada and America are the third world now. It's in these countries where they put the plan in place for the new world order. They told us you are going to rent and be happy. You're not going to be able to own anything. You're not going to be able to own your books, your cars, your properties. They planned it. So the countries that they are planning to have rise up, it's all going to be in the global south. That's the plan. So, this is how they want it. They want everybody here to be poor, to be broke, not to be able to afford homes. They want to keep you dependent on the government. And it looks like the way they're setting this up, no matter what you do, even if you have your own business like me, I have my spiritual direction practice. They're not giving the loans to people like us. If you apply to Business Development Canada, you can't get a loan as a startup. So I don't know what the end game is, but it's not very hopeful from what I am seeing. So hopefully they change, because what he's telling you is the truth. Everybody takes the American values, which are filled with drugs, being put onto drugs, being dependent on those drugs, pharmaceuticals. They're importing all that. So that's what their plan is. You look at people in Africa. Do you have to go and get your breast checked every 2 years? Do you have to go and get your colon checked every 2 years? You don't. If you do it once every 5 years, it's enough. But they're building this pathology of fear into the system that, oh, you're going to die. Everybody's going to die. Well, even if you have those checks or you don't have those checks, one day you're going to die. Yeah, if they might be lucky, they might save you with the treatments and all that. But for me, it's too much. It's too much. It's like, oh my God, how many tests do you want me to do? So just pay attention to what he's telling you. He's telling you the truth. America is the third world. And if you import their values and what they are telling you and all these things, you're going to land up with that extreme poverty that they have. Do you see what's happening now in New York? They're implementing a socialist system, and socialism doesn't work. It's been proven the world over that it doesn't work. What do you think Pope John Paul II stood up to? And how do you think it started? The movies are there. You can watch it. It was a mini-series. They had it in 2 parts. If you have access to Bell TV here, under the movie section, you can watch that movie, or you can watch it, if it's not there, you can watch it on Tubi. Tubi is one of the online platforms. If you have a smart TV, you can watch it there. So I don't know what their end game is, and why do you think the church and everybody is standing up to it and saying this is wrong? You shouldn't be doing this. Because it's creating poverty. That's what it's doing. So anyway, that's customer service 101 for you. If you're talking to people, if you're dealing with people, just treat everybody the same, with the same respect, the same consideration. It doesn't matter if they're calling you from the prison or if they're calling you from the diplomat's office. Just be nice to all of them. I know it's harder. It was harder for me when I was dealing with people who are working in the prison system or the prisoners themselves, because you can hear the guards behind them telling them, hurry up, your call time is almost over and all that. It can be very upsetting, because I never had to work with things like that before I went into the call center work. But you live and learn. It doesn't make you any more thick-skinned. You see these big bags under my eyes? It's from all the crying I did in the call center work. But anyway, That's how you can adapt your ministry and take it into your work. That's what I say. That's how you have to think about it today. You do.